Brought to you by Intera Credit. We live here too. They've already done the prayer and the national anthem before the girls' game tonight, which was won by St. Joe. So we're ready for the starting lineups for the boys' game between Riley and St. Joe. Here with that information is Bob Nagler.
And for the Riley Wildcats, Blake Wesley, the leading scorer, outstanding prospect, being looked at by a lot of major schools. He's a 6'5" junior. Kimberly Love is a 6-foot senior. He will start at a guard position. Philip Roble is also being at backcourt. Philip is a 5'11" junior. Caden Stump in the starting lineup tonight. He's going to play forward position, a 6'4" senior. And Jackson Copley is the 6'3" junior who will also be playing on that front line. And now for the St. Joe Indians. They will be wearing the home white with the blue and black trim. Riley in their road blue uniforms with gold and white trim. Cole Hatkovich will start at the guard, 5'10", sophomore. Paxton Campbell, 6'1" senior, will start alongside. And J.R. Knetzik can play wherever he wants because he can score from the inside, outside. He can do it all. He's a 6'7" junior. Jack Fuda is a 6'4" junior. He'll be playing also on the perimeter. And Will Terry will have a lot of work to do inside. He's listed as their only big man out there, 6'5" and a junior. But Fuda and Knetzik can rebound as well. So those are the starting lineups for tonight's game.
And the officials for tonight's game, Lane Meeks, Gene Teal, and Wesley Yoder are working this one. Did notice in the starting lineups that Taden Stump's wearing 44 tonight, not 33. And it does look as though Riley has made one more change in the starting lineup and put in Clay Coleman, a 6-foot sophomore. That was not information relayed to us beforehand. This series goes back to 1955. Riley leads at 50-37. Last year, the Cats, with a very talented team, won by 9 in their place back in December. Riley in the road blue with the gold trim. St. Joe in the white with the Columbia blue. We are underway with high school basketball on TV-46. St. Joe with the opening tip. Paxton Campbell in the corner, dumps it off, laid up and in on a beautiful play by Jack Fuda.
Wow, pretty impressive start.
Here comes Riley, 1 and 2. They won their opener over LaPorte by 4, lost to Northridge, and then lost Saturday night to Merrillville. Philip Robles getting greeted rather rudely by the St. Joe students after transferring from St. Joe last year. Clay Coleman is blocked, but stepping out of bounds is Will Terry, so Riley retains possession.
Boy, the Indians really love the up-tempo aspect of their game.
Blake Wesley triggers the inbounds pass. This is Robles. Now Wesley from the baseline. Short on the shot. Taden Stump tipped it, but Will Terry collects it for St. Joe. 2-0 on the year with wins over Concord and Michigan City Marquette. Fuda for 3. The rebound to Konechny. He's fouled. No foul called. I thought I heard a whistle. Jackson Copley outside to Wesley. And Konechny draws that assignment. Wesley, a deep 3 is short. And the rebound to St. Joe. Cole Hatkovich, the transfer from Penn, motors up the court. Campbell, now Hatkovich for 3. Only his second miss from out there this year. The rebound to Copley, a 2-0 St. Joe lead. Wesley, now Clay Coleman. Will Terry guarding him. And Coleman throws it away. Here's Haptovich. Indians have numbers. They'll go to the wing and Campbell. He drops it off nicely and Fuda lays it in. So Jack Fuda, averaging 12 points a game, has the first 4 for the Indians, and they have the lead. And another Riley turnover. But Fuda throws it right back to Wesley. He wants to go to the hoop and is fouled on the way up by Fuda, his first.
Fuda is an outstanding junior, 6'4". And boy, he'd be the guy a lot of teams would be building their offensive sets around, but there's a lot of talent on that St. Joe court right now.
Blake Wesley is a 63% foul shooter and misses the first. The 6'5 junior sitting on offers from Notre Dame, Indiana, and Butler, among others. And we understand that Texas has a coach in the stands tonight looking at him. He hits the second. Cats on the board, trailing 4-1. Cole Haptovich, the sophomore point guard, leads the team in assists, looking for one here. Campbell for 3. Paxton Campbell drains that one from the corner. And St. Joe off to a 7-1 start. Coleman, they'll give him space. Copley for 3. The iron unkind. Konechny wants to run. Went behind the back all the way for 2. Timeout, Riley. This place is up for grabs early. 5:30 left first quarter. 9-1 Indians on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by IU South Bend, fulfilling the promise. Bob, in years past, if you wanted to hold a track meet kind of basketball game, that always would favor South Bend Riley. Tonight, it looks a little bit different here at Alumni Gym.
Boy, the Indians really know where each other are located on the floor. They spread the floor nicely. Gotten off to a very effective start here.
They've been able to force a lot of turnovers from Riley. Wesley double team, so Robles in the corner for 3 connects.
Nice pass.
Philip Robles with a 3-pointer. He had 4 in a game against LaPorte earlier this year. Now Konechny down the lane, lost the handle, got it back, couldn't convert, but Will Terry is there for the putback. Terry has been incredibly accurate shooting the ball this year. From 2-point range, he's 89%.
5 rebounds for St. Joe so far in the ball game.
Wesley misses the 3. Loose ball. St. Joe tossed it away. Robles got it back. Wesley again. This time connects. He has 4. That's the deficit. And a turnover by Haptovich. He thought Campbell was cutting outside, and Campbell was cutting in. Riley goes to the bench. Here comes Davion Anderson, the 6'4 junior. Yes, the younger brother of Demese. You can see it right away when you look at it.
No question about it. Wesley, 1 out of his first 4 shots on the night.
And double teamed again, nearly traveled. But that got Anderson open. And the Cats will slow it down a little bit. Caden stumped with his first touch. Robles kept the handle. Wesley in the corner got Konechny faked up, and Konechny fouls him, and that'll be 3 foul shots for Blake Wesley. Heady play by the Riley Jr.
Yeah, if he makes all 3 free throws here, it'll be a 1-point game after a terrific start by St. Joe.
Get another look on the SBO replay. Konechny went for the head and shoulder fake, and Wesley made him pay. You'll meet Blake at halftime. He is one of our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. Through 3 inches in the offseason, and Andre Owens says from the end of the sectional last year to the beginning of fall camp, he really came into his own.
Reminds you a little bit in his size and his build. He looks a lot like Jaden Ivey, who played at Marion last year.
Connor Litka enters the game for St. Joe, a 5'10 junior. Hetkovich will have a seat next to assistant Mo Scott. Wesley goes 2 of 3 at the stripe, but steals it from Konechny and lays it in. And all of a sudden, we're tied at 11. Very profitable trip down the floor for the Cats. Konechny with a little Euro step in the lane gets the bucket. He has 4. Robles, left-hand dribble, blocked by Fuda. Davion Anderson, now Wesley. Deep 3 is not good, and the rebound and over the back call called on Taden Stump. First foul on Riley tonight. You take a look at Andre Owens, his first year on the Riley bench. He's a 91 Riley grad. Played at Oklahoma State for Eddie Sutton. Took them to the Final Four in 1995. J.R. Konechny, deep 3. Off the mark, rebound to Anderson. He showed some hops getting up for that one. Riley could take the lead with a 3, but they turn it over as Wesley, well, now the officials aren't sure. Yes, it went off Wesley's foot. That's Adam Odell checking in for St. Joe. He'll take the place of Fuda.
Litka also in the ball game. Connor Litka, 5'10 junior.
Campbell with the left. There's Odell, who just checked in. Will Terry has been fairly quiet in the first quarter. Tried to drop it off for Litka and threw it away. Riley really collapsing that defense into the paint this time. Robles for 3. No good. Stump saved it to him, though. Robles had the shot blocked by Litka. Wanted a foul. There was none. Litka travels. And Riley will go to the bench again. And this will be Kimerly Love coming in, the 6-foot junior.
4 turnovers for St. Joe. That's really what's got Riley back in the game. After being down early in the game, 9-1.
A frantic pace to this one in the first. You would expect that to be the story almost all night long here at Alumni Gym. Anderson weaved his way through traffic but came up empty. Odell to Karam. Campbell wanted to dish it, and it's stolen away by Coleman. Now a steal by Konechny. Working on Wesley. Goes in, and a foul called. Is it on Stump for Wesley? We'll see. It's on Wesley, his first. You get another look from the SBO replay, and you see the hammer come down on J.R. Konechny, a 50% foul shooter this year.
Have your scorer, Chuck. He can shoot from the outside. He can rebound and score. He can shoot free throws. They all count.
And he hits the first. 5 points tonight for JR as Fuda checks back in. Has really worked on his perimeter jumper. And Bob, as I look at him, and I don't know how well you remember the Mishawaka game last year that we did, I think he's beefed up a little bit in the offseason.
He's been in that weight room, no question about it. And that's one of the first things that Mike Bray would have told him between the time that he committed to Notre Dame and when he gets there. He wants to play right away. He needs to get stronger.
Konechny hits them both. And it's a 15-11 St. Joe lead. Anderson, guarded by Litka, working against a double team up top. Konechny all over Wesley in the corner. Nearly a travel that time by Love. Now Anderson's baseline jumper is short. The rebound, Odell. Minute 15 to go, first quarter. St. Joe leads at 15-11. You see that on the Intera Credit Union scoreboard, bottom of your screen. Love knocked it away, and it goes out of bounds to Riley. Good defense by Kimberly Love.
St. Joe with 8 rebounds early in the game. Riley with 4. Riley with 4 turnovers. St. Joe with 5.
And it looks like St. Joe will take a timeout with 53 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Timeout on the floor, 15-11 St. Joe on 46. Chuck Ruby, Bob Nigel, and Bo Hunt back in Alumni Gym. Indians lead at 15-11.
Folks, think Pyramid Equipment for your snowplow needs. Sales, services, and installations of residential and commercial grade snowplows, parts, and salt spreaders. Pyramid offers military, police, and fireman discounts. Find us at Pyramid Equipment, INC, PyramidEquipmentInc.com.
Take a look at Mark Johnson over on the St. Joe bench. This is his second year at St. Joe. 14-10 with the Tribe, but 35 years overall. He's won 434 career games. He told me before the game tonight, he's been here now for about a year and a half, and this was the first basketball game that he has sensed a buzz in the school during the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mark's got a lot of experience. He was a great assistant with George Griffith at LaSalle. He came back and was the head coach at LaSalle when they closed that school down and moved over to Riley. Now here at St. Joe. And his better-looking brother, well, he thinks he's the better-looking of the two. Pretty good coach as well.
Chris Johnson down at Homestead. Mark said he went down and watched Homestead play Warsaw. Was very impressed with his brother's team this year. They're 2-1 on the year. Riley trailing by 4, final minute of the first quarter. Clay Coleman got caught underneath, so he found Kimberly Love, who was short on the shot, and then Coleman called for the foul as he battled Adam Odell for the rebound.
One of the things, Chuck, about watching Blake Wesley is he is willing to do the work it takes to get open. What he does away from the ball is pretty significant, and he's working hard out there.
You saw 32, John Driscoll check into the St. Joe lineup. He's got the ball underneath right now. Driscoll, all-NIC football player, had the ball knocked away and out of bounds. And St. Joe will get J.R. Konechny in for this possession underneath.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies is celebrating 60 years as the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. 60 years of serving the automotive, medical, aerospace, military, and defense industries. Go to IFTworldwide.com for more information. Like the teams in tonight's game, they're working for a great finish.
Jack Fuda outside. St. Joe looks as though it wants to hold for the last shot of the quarter. Blake Wesley guarding Fuda closely. Riley fans wanted a 5-second call, didn't get it. Konechny double teamed. Fuda with a nice catch. Hatkovich for 3. And St. Joe made Riley pay for that double team as the half-court shot by Anderson goes awry. And Cole Hatkovich with a big 3 at the end of the first quarter gives St. Joe an 18-11 lead after 1 on 46.
18 is correct.
Back at Alumni Gym, St. Joe up 18-11. Let's get our first Bills Heating sideline report of the night. Bo Hunt, your thoughts on that first quarter?
Well, when I look at St. Joe, what they're doing defensively, they're basically running a box and one and have Konechny all over Blake Wesley. And I think the biggest thing with that is that they think they can really stop him. Well, he's got 8 of their 11 points, and they're the only guy that's really scored for Riley. So is it working? Yes, because they're up by 7 at this point, but he is still getting his shots in that box and one, guys.
All right, thank you, Bo. Riley begins the second quarter with possession. And a long three by Kimberly Love is good. So Love hits his first 3 of the night. And Riley cuts the gap to 4, not going away. Konechny down the baseline, stepped out of bounds. St. Joe came into this game averaging 14 turnovers a contest, and they've made a few here in the first half.
I guess 6 of them here as we get going early in the second quarter.
Jamal Robert trying to check into the game that time, but I don't think he bothered to check in at the scorer's table. Or no, he's got a little bit of blood on him, so they got to take him to the locker room. Tyon Autry, number 12 for Riley in the game now. His first action of the night, a transfer from Concord. Clay Coleman finds Love, and he traveled. Reminder, tonight's game is brought to you in part by our friends at South Bend Orthopedics, the team physicians for the University of Notre Dame since 1947.
Turnover number 6 for Riley, even up now with St. Joe.
Hatkovich cutting down the lane, turns and tried to bank it home. Fuda gets the offensive rebound. Now Campbell up top. Konechny had it ripped away by Coleman. He'll try to go the distance, and he'll get the bucket and the bump after the foul by Paxton Campbell.
Campbell trying to get there in time to keep him from getting the shot off, but not able to do it. Nice hustle and a good play, certainly by Coleman. Clay Coleman.
Get another look on the SBO replay. Just a reach-in foul by Campbell. Coleman cannot convert the old-fashioned three-point play. And so St. Joe maintains a 2-point lead.
Riley 3 out of 12 in that first quarter, just 25%. St. Joe 7 of 11 from the field, including 2 out of 5 from three-point range.
And a beautiful give and go there from Campbell to Hatkovich. Hatkovich now with 5. That's his average. Love way outside, directs traffic. Anderson, top of the key, triple is off the mark, and the rebound comes to St. Joe with Will Terry. Campbell got a step and dumped it off for Terry, who's got a clear path to the basket for 2. Riley tried to overplay the pass that time and had to pay the price.
Andre Owens said before the game, he said, we got to make sure we don't overplay. We don't overcommit. It gets us out of position.
Coleman for 3 in the corner connects. Clay Coleman, the transfer from Marion, now with 5. That ties what he had against Merrillville on Saturday.
Well, we thought after the first quarter, Riley needed some help. Love and Coleman have stepped up.
Riley has played very well since letting St. Joe get that 9-1 lead. Wesley wants to go all the way, and a reach-in foul called against St. Joe. It happened on the floor. It's on Fuda. That's his second.
Chuck, after that great beginning by St. Joe in the game, Riley didn't go away. They're down 9-1.
Adam Odell will check back in. Fuda goes out with those 2 fouls. We'll see if he stays out the remainder of the first half. Love finds Wesley. Wesley goes up, airballs it. Caden Stump with the rebound, knocked out of bounds by Konechny. Wesley has scored a lot of points, but he's taken a lot of shots this year to get those points. He'll take another three right here and airball it again. Wesley this time slashes inside. His fourth try at the basket in this possession is good. Boy, Riley really hurt the Indians on the offensive glass that time. And now Riley back within one.
Back within one into rebounding, too.
Campbell tried to feed Konechny, but it was knocked out of bounds by Riley. Riley has really packed that defense in well against St. Joe here since the start of the game. Konechny, a deep three is short, and the rebound comes to Love in the corner. Riley can take its first lead of the game with a bucket here. It's Copley for three, and he connects. Jackson Copley, the 6'3 junior, with his first points of the night, and Riley up by two. And suddenly it's gotten a lot quieter here at Alumni Gym. Konechny down low. Short on the shot. Gets his own rebound. This time he puts it in and draws the foul.
Nice offensive board there. That's 11 boards for South Bend St. Joe. 9 for Riley.
Call the foul on Taden Stump, and that's his second. And so now you'll see Jamal Robert check in for the first time for Riley. And Jared Megacy in the game now for St. Joe. Konechny, a fluid, consistent player, now with 9 points tonight. And we see it's a 25-24 St. Joe lead. Riley has really stormed back in this one, though. The Cats getting some three-pointers from unlikely suspects to hang with the Indians tonight. Basketball game of the week is being brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV-46 for 30 years. The band here at St. Joe trying to rev up this crowd, which has settled in a little bit since that big explosive St. Joe start.
Hey, I want to thank our friends from St. Andrews Products. Many thanks to them for making our crew look good tonight. They can do the same for your school or corporation. Give them a call at 1-800-628-9922 or reach them by email at sales@standrewscorp.com. Your expectations become our standards, and our answer is always yes. Now, what's the question?
So it's a 25-24 St. Joe lead. We have 4:27 left before halftime. Reminder, coming up at halftime, Bob will introduce you to our TCU Student Athletes of the Week, and we'll have halftime highlights. Megacy knocks the ball out of bounds for St. Joe as he draws the assignment of guarding Blake Wesley. Kimberly Love brings it across for Riley. Now Jamal Robert for three, just in the game, couldn't get it to go. Love gets the carom. He couldn't get it to go, and Konechny with the rebound. And a holding foul called on Jamal Roberts. Whole lot of body contact down there, and they finally decided to blow the whistle. That'll be the fifth on Riley.
Andre Owens has a fairly deep bench, and he's gone to it often in this first half.
Konechny inside, muscles through and draws contact. I believe this time it's Clay Coleman. If so, that's his. Nope, they're going to call it on Robert again. That's his second. And here comes Philip Robles back in the game. He's getting another look from SBO at the reach-in foul on Robert. That was the right call. Konechny now being guarded by Robles. Big height advantage for JR there. Let's see if he tries to go down on the post. He did, but Wesley came over to help. Wesley goes crashing through and draws contact from Cole Hetkovich. To me, Bob, that's one of the best things that Blake Wesley does is slashing to the basket and driving the way he did on that play.
He's so quick. And as you said, Chuck, he's grown a couple inches since last season, but he's kept himself in really good shape. Not as good a shape as his dad was back in the day. Derek Wesley, great player at Riley.
And at Ball State. Blake now with 11 tonight. I think he sees the court well. He's got a nice high release, which keeps his shot from getting blocked. Wesley now with 12 points. Riley up by 1. Konechny tries to answer down the baseline and gets mugged by Coleman.
5 out of 7 at the line now for Wesley.
Well, one thing you're going to see from both of these talented juniors is the ability to make free throws. Konechny was an 82% free throw shooter at the line last year. He has 10 points tonight. Riley will send Davion Anderson back into the game, and he'll take the place of Coleman.
Konechny, one of those guys that's really lucky at the free throw line. Lucky if he doesn't shoot 1,000 a day.
Had 22 points on Saturday night. He's got half that many tonight. And the Indians go back up on top in this seesaw affair at Alumni Gym. Roberts with the basketball. Anderson now. And here's Robles. Wesley trying to make a cut. Megacy got right in his grill. Anderson. Oh, he was wide open, didn't take it. Wanted to feed Tyon Autry, who was cutting in for the offensive rebound.
Darren said, shoot it. Anderson said, well, I will eventually.
They never had to tell his brother that.
No, by the time he was a junior and senior, it was up often.
And I'll tell you what, Demese has improved his defense dramatically at IU. Here's Hatkovich. Now Megacy outside. Oh, nice feed to Will Terry for 2. Beautiful look from Jared Megacy.
Terry 3 out of 3 from the field for his 6 points.
And did you hear that name, Megacy? He is the nephew of the former St. Joe girls basketball coach, Mike Megacy, who's at Michigan City now. Robert missed the 3, but St. Joe could not get the defensive rebound.
St. Joe girls team coached by Becca Brzezinski, former Moffett McGraw Center at Notre Dame. They got a big win tonight over Riley. Riley's got some nice players. I was impressed with the amount of scoring they were able to do against St. Joe.
Jasmine Watts, 1,000-point scorer for her career, and she led all scorers tonight. Here's Jamal Robert with his first basket of the season, the 5'11 sophomore converting that one. Konechny, a foul line jumper is too hard. Terry steals the rebound away and gets the bucket. Will Terry does a lot of that. He's got 8 tonight.
Nice.
Autry wanted to take the shot. Terry covered him up and he traveled.
Looked like Autry might have got him off his feet and would have drawn the foul had he not traveled, but he had happy feet right there. Got Terry in the air.
So now St. Joe with a chance to get some cushion if they can get a bucket here. Konechny threw it away. Robert wants to go the distance. Stripped by Terry, fouled by Terry.
10 turnovers in the first half for St. Joe. 9 for Riley. St. Joe leading in the boards 12-10.
Riley playing with some energy defensively since that first time out from Andre Owens.
Committed to faith, character, and excellence since 1953, St. Joseph High School offers unparalleled opportunities in academics, athletics, and the arts. Discover a school that is welcoming, positive, joyful, supportive, and inclusive. Discover St. Joe. Learn more at stjoehigh.com.
Jamal Robert was 0 for 1 at the line prior to that make. For the season, he was 0 for 1. But tonight, he's 2 out of 2. 4 points for Robert, back to a 1-point game. It has been as advertised here at Alumni Gym. Odell pull-up jumper. That's pure. The 6'6 junior Adam Odell, averaging 11 points a game, gets his first basket of the night.
Another country heard from.
Robert has it taken away by Hatkovich. And he'll take it outside with Wesley in front of him. But the ball stolen away on a nice defensive play by Jamal Robert. Here's Copley for three. That's short. Rebound batted around. Terry gets it. Konechny open for three. That's money. You give him that much room. Wesley wants to answer. Megacy, good defense. Terry the rebound. Let's see if St. Joe holds for one. That's what Mark Johnson has in mind.
Wesley being held at just 2 free throws here in the second quarter.
Konechny dribbling a lot on the outside. Terry gets it back to him down the lane for missed the layup. Odell the rebound, no good. Konechny no good. Odell as they play volleyball and a foul is called.
Kind of ruined their shooting stats, but the rebounding looks better.
All the foul on Jackson Copley, his first. And it'll send Adam Odell, an 83% foul shooter, to the line. Adam coming off a career-high 15 against Michigan City Marquette on Saturday. Hits the first. You see Connor Litka come back in to take the place of Konechny. They want to keep him out of foul trouble. Odell had a sister who played on the St. Joe State Championship team just a couple of years ago. He hits them both. A big spurt here at the end of the first half for St. Joe. Megacy fouls Wesley.
7 out of 7 from the line for St. Joe here in the first half.
That'll help as well. Blake Wesley has done a lot of damage from the foul line in this one. And apparently he stepped over the foul line or somebody stepped into the lane, and that'll cost Wesley the free throws.
I believe it was Anderson who moved on the line. He thought after the substitution they might want to get the bigger player up there, so he stepped away, but ball had already been handed over. That's the violation.
If Andre Owens had hair to pull out, he would. Konechny wants to take the last shot and draws a blocking foul on Wesley. And that's the second on Blake.
Teachers Credit Union understands the importance of growing your future, whether you're growing your family, your square footage, or your business. Teachers Credit Union is here for you with financial solutions that will help you succeed. Visit tcunet.com to start growing your future today. Federally insured by the NCUA, they are an equal housing opportunity lender.
Bob mentioned now 8 of 8 for the Indians at the stripe tonight. They say charity begins at home. It has certainly done that for the Indians this evening. And one more time, Konechny will check out for Litka with 3.3 remaining.
There would have been a lane violation there on Riley, but Konechny would have made it. So.
And now an over-the-back call on Megacy with 2.7 left will send Wesley back to the line.
And that is the third foul on Jared.
And Mark Johnson holding a monologue in front of the St. Joe bench.
Yeah, you don't want that foul ever, but 80 feet from the basket.
Could have had a double-digit lead going into the break. Still might. Odell the rebound. Half comes to an end. A good half for Mark Johnson and the Indians as he heads to the locker room with Bo Hunt.
Stand out were the three-point shots by Riley. They made 5 3-pointers, 4 of them by different players besides Wesley. And then also offensively, he had 11 turnovers. What are the things that you concern you?
Well, I mean, the turnovers is terrible. I mean, if we don't turn the ball over, all of a sudden the game could be over. So we got to do a good job. They're good shooters. They're good three-point shooters. So we have to be aware of that.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Bo, that's our Bills Hitting Sideline report. Stick around. You'll meet our TCU student-athletes in just a moment. It is St. Joe on top of Riley thanks to the hustle of Will Terry and the shooting of J.R. Konechny. They lead by 10 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Halftime here at Alumni Gym in South Bend with St. Joe on top of Riley 40-30. Chuck Raby and Bob Nagel not high above the fray tonight, right down in the middle of it. Partner, your thoughts on that first half?
Well, you know, when St. Joe got off to that 9-1 lead, it looked like it could be a one-sided event, and Riley really came back, got some good shot selection. They got to the free throw line a little bit, but they also got some steals and turnovers. St. Joe with 11 turnovers in the first half. I'm sure Mark Johnson's talking about that, but St. Joe shot the ball well, and they made 9 out of 9 from the free throw line. So as we look at the numbers, that one stands out, but I really give St. Joe credit for getting off to a great start, Riley for coming back, and now St. Joe leads it by 10. And again, the turnovers for Riley and their shooting percentage was a little suspect.
Oh, we'll see those in a moment, but first let's show you the first half highlights, show you how it got to be this way at Alumni Gym. St. Joe came out on fire, as Bob said. Electrifying play to Jack Fuda underneath to start the game, and then watch J.R. Konechny go by Coastal for 2. It's 9-1 at that point. It looked like Riley might get just run out of the gym tonight, but Lake Wesley comes back with a 3, and the battle is on. J.R. Konechny working down low, trying to get the basket, and then a beautiful feed to Cole Hatkovich. He had 5 in the first half, but Wesley was really working hard underneath. He had 12 points in the first half to lead Riley. Maybe the unsung hero after Konechny was Will Terry in that first half. You'll see here him strip the ball, get the ball back up and in. He had 8 points in the half. Konechny lit it up from the outside. He had 16. And that's one reason St. Joe's up by 10. But a look at the first half numbers, Bob. You mentioned shooting percentage. Wow, does that stand out to me?
Yeah, Riley shoots 9 out of 27, 33%. There were 6 out of 13, 5 out of 13 from three-point range, but they took 13 three-pointers, and you'll see in a moment St. Joe only took 7. Riley 7 of 11 at the line, 63%. They were out-rebounded by a couple by St. Joe, and that last flurry of offensive boards really turned the tide. But both teams with 11 turnovers in the first half. For the St. Joe Indians, they were 14 of 26 from the field, 53%. They were 3 out of 7 from three-point range, and again, only took 7 of those, and they were 9 out of 9 from the line, which is impressive. I'm not sure how you improve on that.
You can't, but we'll see if they can keep getting to the line in the second half. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by the electrical workers of Local 153. They're making our community brighter. Riley getting in some warm-ups here on the court just before the second half gets ready to begin. They were a little late coming out onto the floor, but they did make it eventually. And Bo Hunt had a quick chance to chat with Andre Owens, the Riley head coach. Let's go to Bo for a Bills heating side.
In defensively, we're just not executing. We're not playing together as a team as we can. He said that he doesn't feel they're being outplayed. He just says it's the execution and teamwork. We just need to do it better.
Well, from a standpoint of shooting, he's right. 33% is not going to win you a lot of games from the field, especially when the other team's putting it in at 53%. Will Terry outside to Paxton Campbell. He tried to give it back to Terry, and instead it's a held ball. Alternating possession goes to Riley, and there is another St. Joe turnover. And Campbell just got done talking with Bob Nagel as though that wasn't bad enough. He got hit in the head.
Well, the Wildcats need some stops here if they can get back in the ball game. Down by 10, plenty of time.
Philip Robles had a three-pointer in the first half, but has been relatively quiet since. Copley tried to feed it down low to Stump and threw it away. So both teams a little sloppy opening it up here in the third quarter.
Folks, you get back in the game with South Bend Orthopedics, team physicians for the University of Notre Dame since 1947.
Saw Brian Radigan at the girls' game earlier tonight. His daughter had a nice night. Here's a foul called on Clay Coleman, and that's his third.
South Bend Orthopedics from 1947. 6 years later, St. Joe High School opened. Little history note for you, a little nugget.
1953, you are correct indeed, sir. Megacy looking for somebody underneath. Instead finds Konechny up top. Not a bad choice. He tried to throw it back to Megacy, hit him right in the head, but Megacy wasn't looking for the ball.
Well, Mark Johnson, I'm sure, addressed the turnover situation at halftime, and he's doing it again right now on that sideline.
I don't think by addressing it, he was saying, I want more of them. Will Terry swats the shot of Blake Wesley out of bounds. Adam Odell will check in for Megacy.
We played over a minute of this third quarter. That was the first shot by either team.
Too busy making turnovers.
Apple, Cinnamon.
Copley inside for two. A nice little floater that time for Jackson Copley. He's been working out with the former Washington star Cedric Moody to try to improve his game. And another turnover. Wesley. Kaboom. Timeout, St. Joe. Mark Johnson irate. 6:27 to go, third quarter. And the Riley Wildcats have trimmed the Indian lead to 6 thanks to this slam by Blake Wesley on 46. This edition of the 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week being families and businesses comfortable since 1951.
You know, we got a little dusting of snow today. Nothing serious, but you're thinking about snow removal. Think Pyramid Equipment for your snowplow needs, sales, services, and installation of residential and commercial-grade snowplows, parts, and salt spreaders. Pyramid offers military, police, and firemen discounts. Find us at PyramidEquipmentInc.com.
St. Joe led by 10 at the half. That lead down to 6 now, just 90 seconds in to the third quarter. Cole Hakovich with the left-hand dribble here for the Indians. Terry nearly threw that one away. Wesley wanted another steal. Instead, Konechny gets fouled from behind by Coleman. That's his fourth.
Reminds me a little bit of back in the day, Chuck, when South Bend LaSalle went down to play Plymouth the last regular season game the year Plymouth won the state championship, 1982. And my man Steve Kingsbury had 5 fouls to spend on Scott Skiles, and he did it well, and Skiles ended up with 9 points, and LaSalle got the win.
King sitting next to Mark Johnson over on that St. Joe bench. Odell 3 is off the mark. Stump, a nice rebound for Riley.
Good to have Stump back in there.
Wesley, a ball handle. Finds Copley for three. He's been hot. Jackson Copley now with 8. This is a 3-point ball game. At the other end, Fuda is short. Odell is as well on the tip. Here comes Copley. He'll go the distance and draw a held ball. Alternating possession goes to St. Joe.
Riley 3 out of 4 here in the third quarter. St. Joe out for 3.
Andre Owens keeps a smile on his face over on the far side, even though he didn't necessarily delight in the turnover. Terry. Now Fuda got a step on his man and laid it in for 2. Jack Fuda with 6.
Well, he had their first basket of the first half. He's got their first basket of the second half.
Love airballs the 3. Here comes St. Joe the other way. And now a steal by Copley. He'll lay it in for 2. Copley with 10 in this one now. Back to a 3-point game. At the other end, Terry spinning, missing, stumped the rebound. Wesley for the tie. Short. Fuda gets it ahead to Konechny. So they both can dunk.
His first shot, first made basket of the second half.
Went from a chance to a tie game to a 5-point St. Joe lead just like that. Copley. Oh, he's on fire here in the third. Copley had 15 in the opener against LaPorte. He's got 12 tonight. Fuda for 3. Rims out. Riley with another chance to tie it up with a bomb. Wesley wants it. Instead, he'll take the 15-footer and miss that. Odell the rebound. It has been a fun one here at Alumni Gym. Konechny for 3. Rebound tipped into the hands of Copley. Robles through contact. Who's the foul on? Is it on Stump or Fuda? It's going to be on Fuda. And for Jack, that's his third.
Chuck St. Joe kind of doing what we talked about Riley had to be careful not to do, and that's shoot it early in a possession. They seem eager to get a shot off, and maybe with a little more patience, they'd find a better shot like they did in that first half early. They're getting good breaks to the basket.
Copley comes out for a breather, but Wesley is still in there. It's Jamal Robert for 3, and Terry gets the rebound. Stump hammered him from behind.
Got to be careful, Stump. They got 3 fouls now.
Riley's bench a little bit depleted tonight. Doug Adams not available. He was ejected from the game against Merrillville on Saturday.
Former Michigan City coach.
No, not that Doug
okay.
Adams. Konechny called for palming.
Turnover number 16 for St. Joe.
They were only averaging 14 a game coming in.
Yeah, we still got 11 minutes to go in this one.
Riley has held the Indians to just 4 points in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. Robles, a floater. Phillip now with 5, back to a 1-point game. Hatkovich working on Robles, and he got pushed. First foul on Phillip Robles. The second, as you look at Mark Johnson over on that St. Joe sideline. You mentioned he was an assistant to George Griffith at LaSalle. He was also an assistant to Homer Drew for a hot second at Valparaiso.
He was, as a matter of fact. Boy, Stump gets another foul. That's 4.
Andre Owens looking for a little bit of help from his bench. And they'll send Jackson Copley back in. So 2 Wildcats, Coleman and Stump, each with 4 fouls. Underneath on the inbounds cup, but Fuda lost the handle. And Riley can take the lead here with a bucket.
Riley's really picked it up rebounding-wise. They trail by just 4 now.
Robles on the left-hand dribble, guarded by Fuda. Copley has been hot here in the third. Blocked by Odell. Got it back. Missed that one. Terry the rebound. Hatkovich, a clear path to the basket. Instead, Fuda for 3. Drive and kick. Andre Owens knows that all too well. He'll take the timeout with 1:56 to go, up by 4.
Got Copley back in the ballgame, Chuck, and I think he took him out just to explain to him that there's no smoking allowed in this arena, and he was smoking. He was on fire.
Cooled off a little bit on the bench. We had a good girls game prior to this one. Becca Goodman, a graduate of Wheeler and Notre Dame. Santana Granderson from Riley and Xavier. Their 2 teams going at each other. Sarah Heestand had a nice night for St. Joe. But I'll tell you what, Riley hung tough. Amari Owens had 10 points, and Jasmine Watts led all scorers with 21. But in the end, St. Joe's depth too much. Heestand had 12. Look at Keegan Sullivan find Ann Goralczyk here for the bucket, and then it'll be Kelly Radigan with 5 as St. Joe won it 57-39. Tell you what, Becca's Indians look like a definite tournament contender this year.
They really do, and they, again, got a good effort defensively against Riley. And Riley's got some players.
Jasmine Watts, yeah.
Yeah, and fundamentally, they even when Watts didn't score, she dished the ball off, and they knew where to put it. Again, it's just a matter of more talent for St. Joe and a couple of pretty well-coached teams.
St. Joe will have some obstacles, of course, down the road with games against Marion and Penn still in the NIC. As for this one, the boys' game, St. Joe up 47-43 on Riley with less than 2 minutes to go, third quarter.
I like that timeout by Andre Owens. He didn't wait till it got away any further. He's down 4.
Robles has it knocked away from behind, but Fuda couldn't corral it.
Good hustle by Fuda. He's been a difference maker here in the third quarter.
Fuda, Terry, Wesley, all played together in the Gus Macker tournament years ago. Konechny and Wesley having a little chat over here on the sidelines as they wait for the sub. Most of these guys here in town know each other very well.
Both teams have had 6 players get into the scoring column tonight.
Copley fed it inside. Outside Love for 3. Couldn't get it to go, but got his own rebound. Threw it off Copley's foot. Now a held ball situation will go to Riley.
Love with some good hustle. I love it when a guy puts up a 3. And even though he didn't know if it's in or out, he followed the shot and created an opportunity. Now the jump ball opportunity stays with the Riley Wildcats.
Love to inbound it with 1:19 to go in the stanza. He tried to find Robert Cutting. The ball knocked loose, and we've got a pushing foul called, I believe, against St. Joe. That would be on Adam Odell, his first.
Butler got the first down for Riley. A little physical out there, but both teams respecting each other, helping each other up.
The Odell brothers, Adam and Jake, 6'6" and 6'4". And some healthy bodies there, let me tell you. Love takes it back outside for Riley. Cats trying to get a good possession here. Stay within striking distance. They got away from him a little bit at the end of the second quarter. Fuda called for a foul. That's his 4th.
Yeah, Fuda got a hand on the hip there, gave him a little shove. Mark Johnson got to go to the bench now.
So the foul's starting to add up for both teams. Here's Connor Litka checking back in. That's the third foul of the half on St. Joe. Wesley cut inside, initiated the contact, so no call. And Konechny gets the rebound. Look at the ball movement by the Tribe. Blocked by Robert. Goaltending on Robert. Give the basket to Connor Litka. His first of the night.
Good timing right there for St. Joe, for Litka to come in.
The SBO replay shows you maybe that ball was coming off the glass. It was close. Love outside. Copley for three. Wouldn't go. Rebound Terry, and he gets fouled from behind. This one on Tyon Autry.
Boy, Copley had a good-looking shot there. It just wouldn't go. He made his first 4 shots of the third quarter. He missed his last 3.
These end-of-quarter situations have been rough on Riley tonight. See if St. Joe holds for the last shot here. Instead, a steal by Love. He'll go the distance, and he is fouled from behind by Litka, who got him with the body.
Coaches always tell you, if you're going to foul, make sure he doesn't get the shot off. He didn't right there, but a good hustle by Love.
So it'll be Kemerly Love, a 67% free throw shooter, going to the line. The 6-foot junior has 3 points tonight. Scored a career-high 4 Saturday against Merrillville, and he rims that one in. Andre Owens, a special education teacher in the South Bend schools, really focused on giving back to the community and trying to get his team an opening night win in NIC play. The free throw missed, and on the rebound, a push-off foul is called on Jamal Roberts. So we'll parade down to the other end for free throws by St. Joe, as you saw Robert go over the back of Adam Odell.
He's got his third foul. A couple of guys with 4 in this game. That could be a factor down the stretch.
Odell has been a good scorer for St. Joe this season. And again, St. Joe has really helped its cause tonight at the free throw line.
First free throw of the second half for St. Joe. Riley wanted a 2.
Odell with 5 points tonight. Missed that one. 6-point game as we see if Riley can get the last shot of the quarter. Copley for 3. Hit the top of the backboard, and that's the way the third quarter ends. A third quarter that featured explosive plays from both sides. First, Blake Wesley got us started with a little bit of a jam session, and then J.R. Konechny would match him at the other end. It's the Indians by 6 on 46. This edition of the TV-46 High School Basketball Game of the Week being brought away of Lytle's Eating Sideline Report. Thoughts on this one through 3 quarters, Bo?
Well, exactly what we kind of expected. That's why we did this special Tuesday night game. Some quality talent out there. Teams getting up and down the floor. I think there in the third quarter, one of the biggest things was Riley was able to pick up their intensity a little bit. They were much more physical, a lot more faster out there than St. Joe was in that quarter specifically. And I think turnovers are really hurting St. Joe. They've hurt them in the first half. And there, I think that intensity that Riley brought in that third quarter really helped with the cause of turnovers as well, guys.
Question will be, can Riley find a little bit more intensity to finish off a comeback here, or will St. Joe be able to protect home court and go to 3-0 on the year? The Indians, ranked number 8 in the Class 3A poll this week, go inside to Will Terry. Back outside, Cole Hatkovich. Odell. Now Konechny. Good ball movement by the Indians. but they haven't been able to find an open shooter. Now they will. Jake Odell misses his first shot of the night. Here comes Copley and the Cats. Copley with a scoop layup that will not go, and Terry another rebound.
Copley is cold right now as he was hot.
Riley employing a 2-3 zone here against St. Joe. Odell was fouled, and he'll go to the line.
For 60 years, Imagineering Finishing Technologies has been the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. They set the standard for industries including automotive, medical, aerospace, military, and defense. Go to iftworldwide.com for more information. IFT has earned national accreditation and worldwide respect. Like the teams in tonight's game, they're working toward a great finish.
Odell misses the free throw, but Will Terry gets the rebound bucket. He has 10, and the Indian lead is up to 8. Anderson. Davion takes it in strong, draws contact. I think the foul will be on Jake Odell, the sophomore. Get another look from SBO. And you see as Jake comes over and does a laying on of hands that time. Davion Anderson, 50% foul shooter. Misses the first. Davion averaging a shade over 2 points and 2 rebounds a game this year. Scored 5 in their loss to Northridge. Hits this one, and Philip Robles will check back into the lineup for Riley to take the place of Kimberly Love.
Love had a lot of good hustle out there, but Robles is their better playmaker.
Hatkovich for 3. Not that time, and the rebound to Copley. Good transition defense by St. Joe, though, that time. Hatkovich, though, called for the foul. His second, and it'll be a parade of foul shots the rest of the way, I believe, although this one was called on the floor. It's only the 6th on St. Joe.
See if there's a little giving right back to Wesley.
He wants it. Poked away by Hatkovich. Autry recovered for the Cats. Wesley over Konechny. Short. Rebound tipped into the hands of Terry. He just seems to be around the ball all the time.
St. Joe with 25 rebounds, 19 now for Riley.
Robles
Make
with
it
good
20.
defense, but then a steal. Hatkovich. Odell with the left hand. Adam with 7.
That's not fair, is it? Nice work with that left hand.
Anderson finds a cutting Wesley, and he has it knocked out of bounds. No, Terry and the Indians save it. Konechny with a charge. He went right over the top of Tyon Autry and picks up his second foul. You'll get another look on the SBO replay.
Hey, you see him just lower that shoulder a little bit. You don't have to lower it much. You just have to show intent not to avoid the collision.
Saw the clean swat there, though, by Terry, and the nice save by Jake Odell at the other end.
Game time for Riley right here. Chuck, they're down 9 with 5:46 left to go. Plenty of time for a comeback, but they got to really tighten it up.
Anderson for 3. That won't go. Terry, yet another rebound. Nearly threw it away. He did. Coleman with the steal.
17 turnovers for St. Joe tonight.
Mark Johnson will not be happy about that tonight. Coleman nearly lost it. Robles for 3. And Hatkovich called for the foul.
I say, Chuck, you got to give some credit to Riley for that number of turnovers. They are long and they are quick, create a lot of tough situations.
Stumpf will check back in to take the place of Anderson as Jackson Copley goes to the line. Stumpf really should not have been allowed to come into the game until after the first free throw, assuming that Copley was in the act of shooting.
That's early in the season. You can make those mistakes.
Officials, the scorers table, they're all getting into the flow. It's a 1-and-1. Copley, 83% free throw shooter, hits the first, and now Stumpf can come in.
Maybe Copley can get reignited here with a couple of free throws.
It's funny, Saturday he scored all of his points in the second half, and I believe that's been the case again tonight. He missed that free throw. Odell with the rebound.
Copley had 1 3-pointer in the first half. But you're right, Chuck. Other than that, he's done it all here in the second half.
Adam Odell in the corner steps in to take the wing jumper miss. Terry's rebound. He's fouled from behind by Copley. That'll send Will Terry, who is 2 for 2 at the stripe this season, to the foul line.
Second foul on Copley.
Terry, the top offensive rebounder on this team, came out strong at the end of last season. He refers to himself as a late bloomer. And he's had a nice night tonight with 11 points and probably that many rebounds. He hit them both, and it's the largest lead of the night for the Indians at 10.
That's what the score was at halftime. They come all the way back.
Robles for 3. Nice rebound by Coleman. Blocked by Terry. Hatkovich, 3-on-2. Konechny, that's a blocking foul this time on Riley. They will not count the basket. I don't believe.
Going to have a little discussion about it.
You'll see it here on the SBO replay. That could have been a travel. Instead, a blocking foul is called on Wesley. That's his third. And here's J.R. Konechny going to the line.
Folks, St. Andrews Products has joined our team with the finest in promotional products, advertising specialties, business gifts, and apparel. Call them at 800-628-9922, or you can reach them by email at sales@standrewscorp.com. Your expectations become our standards, and our answer is always yes. Now, what's the question?
A year ago, J.R. Konechny became the first St. Joe sophomore to ever score 500 points in a season. He has 20 points here in this contest tonight, and his St. Joe squad up 58-46. Wesley drives the other end, thwarted by Terry, and no foul call. Terry inside with the left, misses, and a nice rebound by Clay Coleman. Copley, topside triple. I like him.
Back.
He's got 16 to lead the Cats tonight.
I like the confidence he had throwing that one back up.
Wesley, he now has 16. And Mark Johnson wants a timeout before the comeback mounts. 3:54 to go in regulation. Riley has cut the deficit to 7 on 46. Friends, this edition of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV-46 for 30 years. A raucous crowd in Alumni Gym tonight. They've enjoyed the show so far as St. Joe has a 58-51 lead on Riley, and still a little under 4 minutes to go in this one.
We've had a lot of ebb and flow in this game early on. St. Joe up 9-1. Riley came back. Riley actually came back, took the lead. And they're down 10 at halftime. Really worked hard in the second half. Getting that substitution, taking Copley out of there. You had to give him a little air, but took him a while to get reignited. But he's been a real impressive player tonight for Riley, certainly along with Wesley.
J.R. Konechny. Now Will Terry. And here's Jack Fuda. Fuda playing with 4 fouls. Konechny had Wesley posted up down low. Instead, St. Joe willing to work the ball around and work a little bit of clock right here.
Wesley came real close to foul number 4 on that penetration.
Odell finds Konechny in the corner, but Wesley right there. And Konechny short on the shot. Good defense by Blake Wesley that time.
Konechny with just 2 points in the second half.
Copley went head and shoulders, but traveled.
9 turnovers for Wildcats, 17 for St. Joe. I'm sorry, 12 turnovers for the Wildcats.
And 19 for St. Joe. Oof.
Yeah. Got to have reason to watch video, right?
Oh, don't worry. There's plenty. Here's Atkovich outside. Now Konechny. Odell. St. Joe just happy to milk some clock here, trying to find a good shot. Fuda for 3. Missed it. Terry hustles down, another rebound. JR for 3. 23 for the Notre Dame bound junior. Back to a 10-point game.
Big 3 right there.
Copley open for 3. Not that time. Hatkovich is going to be called for a push-off. Stump was going up for the rebound, and Hatkovich got him from behind for his 4th.
Hatkovich not the biggest guy on the floor, so sometimes maybe you get away with that, but the officials are right there. Officials done a nice job tonight.
So Stump will go to the line. He's a 50% free throw shooter on the year. His only point of the season came on a free throw against Northridge, and now he's got one to add to it. Mainly put in there for defense and rebounding, and he has done some of that tonight for the Cats. The 6'4 senior goes 1 of 2 on that trip, and guess who? Will Terry, another ricochet.
28 rebounds in the game for St. Joe. Really is pretty much offset the turnover factor.
And I would say half of them have to be by Terry. Konechny has it pop out of the toaster, but gets it back. And then, as he drives inside, he's fouled. And Stump had better watch it. He just got text.
And Andre Owens asking him what good that was going to do. He's already got 1 player suspended from last game.
In the case of Adams, that was an ejection. This is just a technical on Stump, who had just fouled out of the game. He got warned on the initial reaction, and then it's here where he's blowing off steam literally with the shirt that he got the tech.
Played hard tonight. Had some foul trouble in the first half, limited his minutes. But he's a big, strong body. Matches up well with a lot of the St. Joe kids. But you got to keep yourself out of foul trouble. While there's a break, we can tell you that St. Joseph High School is looking for the next class of leaders and difference makers. Whether your interest is science, service, writing, or the arts, St. Joe will set you on a path to success. Committed to providing a transformative education to every student, St. Joe offers need-based scholarships to over half of its students. St. Joe promises to prepare you for your future. Learn more at their website at stjoehigh.com.
Konechny misses the first free throw of the original 2-shot foul. He hits the second. JR with 24. And now there will be 2 technical free throws.
Boy, Konecny's three was a real backbreaker.
Has a sister who played college basketball at Valpo. If you're wondering if he's getting close to a career high, not even. He had 39 last year against Elkhart Memorial. He has 26 here tonight. And St. Joe on top by 12 at 64-52.
I think the fact that he doesn't have numbers in the 30s, Chuck, speaks to the balance on this team. A very good ball club.
They came into this one averaging almost 79 points a game. Granted, only 2 games. Terry misses inside, but there's Konecny with 2 more. He's got 28. And meanwhile, Wesley and Konecny go down in a heap outside the 3-point area. And for JR, that'll be his third.
9 points in the fourth quarter alone for Konecny after being held to just a 2-pointer in the third quarter.
For Blake Wesley, he has been held 12 points below his average tonight. He came in averaging 28 a game. He's got 16 tonight. Chance to add to it here, and he does. This St. Joe team has been scoring points as well as any team in the area this year. 78.5 a game. Michigan City's the closest to them, and Elkhart Memorial, who we saw last week, at 72. Crimson Chargers had a bout with Mishawaka tonight over at the Cave. Odell tried to find Konecny, but it's knocked out of bounds by Jamal Robert.
Chuck, when you look at the balance of these teams, you're looking at Hetkovich, who has 5. Konecny's had a great game. Odell's been solid. Fuda is in double figures. Terry in double figures. Riley with just the 2 players with the large point totals. And really what it says to everybody else, guys like Coleman and Love, you gotta ramp it up because the other guys need a little more help. But this is a good Riley ball club.
Andre Owens knows that he's trying to build something towards March. They'll learn something from tonight as Odell is fouled on the way up. The foul called on Clay Coleman. That'll be his 5th.
Well, the Cats didn't have many choices down the stretch here to try to work their way back in the ball game. Keep going back to that 3-pointer by Konecny. He hadn't scored. Just 2 points in the second half. Hit that 3, and wow.
See who Riley sends in here to take the place of Coleman. Going to bring in a couple of people. Daquan Dixon checks in for the first time tonight. And Philip Robles goes out. And Blake Wesley will check out, perhaps for the night, with 53.4 seconds left.
Yep.
Adam Odell hits the first.
Nothing to be gained by keeping him on the floor.
St. Joe will move to 3-0 from Mark Johnson, his 435th career win. And St. Joe will put in John Driscoll.
Legacy check back. Let's see. One of their JV players wearing number 42.
So a 68-54 lead. J.R. Konecny checks out for the night with 28 points. Copley hits another 3. He'll be the leading scorer for Riley tonight as he has 19. Odell driving, nearly threw it away. John Driscoll tried to take it up and in. Battle for the loose ball. Odell puts it in. He's in double figures tonight with 10. So the St. Joe Indians will be 1-0 in the NIC. We may see another NIC contender Friday night with Adams and Marion, as the Indians will put this one to rest. Fuda dribbles it out, And St. Joe has defeated Riley by the final score of 70-57. When we come back, we'll have all of our features for you, including our IU South Bend fulfilling the promise player of the game and our electrifying player of the game. It all comes your way next on the 46 Game of the Week.
From the field, a couple free throws.
Yep.
Terry will
First start.
Yeah. Now it's standing by with our player of the game, Will Terry. First off, double-double tonight, 12 points, 14 rebounds. Just congratulations on the victory.
Thank you. Thank you.
You guys played so well as a team out there, and you guys, we've seen this last year, and you guys have really come together this year. Just talk about the camaraderie of your teammates.
Well, last year, a new coach. So coming into that, we're all young, so we didn't really know each other.
Yeah.
But this year, everyone knows each other, so we're gelling really well. And that like you can see that on the court right there.
Riley comes in this very physical, very athletic team. Just talk about that challenge tonight.
Well, Coach Shade, that wasn't a shock. We knew that, I got scratched on every rebound. Like, we knew that coming in. Just be strong with the ball and, don't get caught up in, their trash talking because that ended up in a technical foul. We didn't want that.
You guys come in the game ranked 8th in the state, and just talk about that, how you guys feel and going forward.
We can't let that, we can't play like we're the number 8 team in the state. We got to play like we're the last team in the state. We got to prove ourselves.
Hey, congratulations on being a player of the game.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Good job, Will.
Good job.
Hi, I'm Bethany.
Bethany.
Hi, great to meet you. Thanks for being here tonight.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Very excited. Player of the game, Will Terry. First off, double-double tonight, 12 points, 14 rebounds. Just congratulations on the victory.
Thank you. Thank you.
You guys played so well as a team out there.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV-46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by
It would be nice to think every game in the Northern Indiana Conference is going to be as exciting as this one was tonight. Didn't slip away until the final minutes, and St. Joe was able to pull away for a 70-57 win over Riley. Chuck Freeby and Bob Nagel courtside with you, and I'm very impressed with St. Joe, a team that we saw start to come on at the second half of last year under Mark Johnson. Primarily a junior-dominated squad, but boy, they play like veterans.
They do, and a couple things that are pretty obvious. They've spent some time in the weight room. This team and a lot of the kids that we saw last year, a little bit slight in their build, and not anymore. And I was watching when Driscoll came in. We know what a good athlete he is, and yet he looked a lot like the other guys on the floor. And one of the things, too, is that St. Joe had more people who were able to contribute scoring-wise than Riley did. This was a fun night tonight, and we got a chance to see two of the area's best players this early in the season. That's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch both these teams.
It would be easy with 28 points to talk to J.R. Konechny, but there was a young man out on the floor tonight. Double figures points, double figure rebounds. To me, that gets you player of the game. Bo Hunt thinks along the same lines, and he's standing by with our IU South Bend fulfilling the promise player of the game.
Standing by with our player of the game, Will Terry. First off, double-double tonight, 12 points, 14 rebounds. Just congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
You guys played so well as a team out there, and you guys, we've seen this last year, and you guys have really come together this year. Just talk about the camaraderie of your teammates.
Well, last year, a new coach. So coming into that, we're all young, so we didn't really know each other.
Yeah.
But this year, everyone knows each other, so we're gelling really well, and that like you can see that on the court right there.
Riley comes in this very physical, very athletic team. Just talk about that challenge tonight.
Well, Coach Jay, that wasn't a shock. We knew that, I got scratched on every rebound. We knew that coming in. Just be strong with the ball and, don't get caught up in, their trash talking because that ended up in a technical foul. We didn't want that.
You guys come in the game ranked 8th in the state, and just talk about that, how you guys feel and going forward.
We can't let that, we can't play like we're the number 8 team in the state. We got to play like we're the last team in the state. We got to prove ourselves.
Hey, congratulations on being a player of the game.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Bo. And Bob, the third quarter provided us not one, but two electrifying plays of the game, one on each side.
And there were a couple others earlier in the game, but I agree with you. These are fantastic. And our electrical workers bring our electrifying plays, and there goes the man for the Riley Wildcats. And Wesley did a nice job tonight, but he really brought the crowd to its feet a couple of times tonight with slam dunks.
And then J.R. Konechny would answer at the other end with a jam session of his own. 28 for J.R., 18 for Wesley tonight. Jackson Copley led Riley with 19. Thanks to the electrical workers of Local 153 for sponsoring our electrifying play of the game. Riley 1-3, but boy, I think that record's deceiving.
Well, going against Bob Donowald, Dale Lisicki, Paul Fredlake.
Not quite that St. Joe's.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I go back to that kind of a team where they were physical, talented, very highly skilled, and willing to work hard. This is a good-looking St. Joe team. And, again, we're just a couple of games into the season. They're 3-0 and looking like maybe one of the best teams in Class 3A.
Now there's another undefeated team in South Bend over on the east side of town. We're going to see them Friday night. It's Marion and John Adams in our NIC game on Friday night. We do hope you'll join us then. Our thanks to our TV-46 crew who brought you this one, led by our production manager, Dean Korsmo, and our usual cast of talented people. A reminder, there is basketball on Pulse FM tomorrow night at 6:30. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame try to get back in the win column, but it'll be tough as Doug Bruno's DePaul Blue Demons come to town. My partner's got the call on that at 6:30 on 92.1, 96.9, and 103.1. Then Friday night, Adams and Marion in another NIC collision. We'll have it for you Friday night 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Now for my broadcast partners, the Hall of Famers, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final score. St. Joe, ranked number 8 in 3A, wins it 70-57. Until we see you from the east side of South Bend on Friday night, Chuck Freeby saying so long from South Bend.